Before we get into today's video, can I just ask everyone to please do your own due diligence and take this video as entertainment only.
No such thing as debate. So I've begun.
What's the crack, everyone? Welcome back to Buy or Sell. I hope you're all well and you've had a good weekend. Today is Sunday. Doing this video, it's going to come to you tomorrow on Monday. So I'm doing this in advance of any stock trading of the financial week, but it is coming to you based on the You Choose video. On a weekly basis, subscribers come to me and ask, hey, would you cover this stock? Would you cover that stock? To be fair and reasonable, I just put them all to vote and you pick the next video. So I've been doing this for a while. Some of the videos have been crackers, some of them have been stinkers. It just really depends. I don't know what you're going to hit me with. As you can see, last week's video of choice is Senseonics. So I'm going to be getting into this stock. We're going to cover it at a high level. We're going to look at the charts, talk about entry points, all that good stuff, and what maybe catalysts are coming up to get this thing throbbing. If there is anything at all, it will be the first time I've looked at it today. So before we get into it, can I just ask you, please like, subscribe, help me grow this channel. I appreciate everyone that's helped me out and all those comments. I've responded to everybody and I will continue to do that as best of my ability, but I really do appreciate the comments. It's good to knock ideas about as well, so I'm appreciating that. Without further ado though, let's get into today's video. Just jump onto the website. The first thing I will say is if you go to explore the technology, I'm really excited to hear all about it. Access denied. Not the greatest of starts. So look, forget about their website. I've done my own due diligence into it anyway. First thing I will say is this is seems to be a bit of a Reddit pump and dump. It's caught up in all of that now. I'm not against that. Zomedica is a stock that I had believed in, made great gains on it. I've done great swing trades on it. I am currently out of that stock at the moment, just based on the whole crazy volatile. And like I said, these type of speculative stocks seem to be tanking at the minute. But ideally, I don't really like that the Reddit guys are pumping it because it just makes it very hard to track these types of stocks. And this seems to be definitely number one because there's articles saying, you know, it's the hottest Reddit penalty stock and all this kind of thing. So just bear that in mind with this one, guys. This article came out 3 days ago and I think it just sums up from what I've read at a high level. It just sums it up perfectly. So we're just going to read this here. Why Senseonics is an intriguing speculative buy at these levels. Okay, so this came out in May 5th, and as I said, we will look at the charts in a moment, talk about entry points. So there's a place in most portfolios for small speculative positions, and I would agree with that. It's a medical company focused on providing implantable glucose monitoring, CGM for short, systems for those with diabetes. Okay guys, so statistics on diabetes is I think it's 1 in 3 people have diabetes or likely to become diabetic. It's crazy, guys. You know, we're taking too much sugar. I can go into all that at a different time, but it appears to be ready to target a multi-billion-dollar and growing opportunity in the diabetes space, in particular Senseonics Sense XL product is what most investors have their eye on right now. So like I said, they do other products. If the website worked, we would look into that, but you can go and find out about them, of course, elsewhere. But this is the key thing. This is the big catalyst. These devices haven't only received a lot of attention from investors. Ascensia, a large Swiss-based diabetics-focused CGM player, has backed Senseonics in addition to raising capital via convertible debt via Ascensia partnership. The two companies have embarked on a mission to bring Senseonics core products to the market. Wow. So, I mean, if you're interested in this and you've got other companies coming in and backing them, they've obviously shown in that space that this can work, and there's other people that are going, well, how long? I would like to get a bit of part of that. So that's a real good thumbs up. So like many of these stocks, commercialization is going to be the key. And as an early stage medical device company, Senseonics doesn't have a lot of revenue to show for its efforts. So the past 12 months, the company brought in less than 5 million revenue. Okay, so we're not going to look into the previous financials, guys. There's no point. They've actually got their earnings coming up here in the next week or so. Not going to look at the financials, just going to look at the charts. But yeah, it's a horror show, but like all these penny stock guys, they've got a product here, and the situation is that if that works, the thing will go to the moon. The stock has garnered sufficient excitement to justify an 850 million market capitalization. According to something must be up for the investors to be willing to put their money to work in this Sense stock at these levels. In early February, Senseonics announced the initiation of European commercialization activities. In partnership, the company is looking to bring the 90-day and 180-day CGM products to the market in Europe. It's almost as if commercialization is a guarantee we're already laying the foundation, so when that happens, we're going to be going straight in. The company's hope is that these long-term solutions will be well absorbed in Europe. Sensia has tremendous success in marketing the Contour CGM products in Europe. So that's great. They're getting a foothold in all these markets through the partnership. Sensia is quick to note that Eversense product line is the only FDA-approved long-term CGM product in the US. Accordingly, there is tremendous opportunity should further commercialization efforts take hold. So have a look at this here, and again, take this at a high level. These markets are two of the crown jewels in the global diabetes device market. According to recent estimates, the market could reach 4.3 billion by 2025. Sales are expected to grow more than 16% a year. This would translate into approximately doubling revenue every 5 years. If this growth rate persists over the long term, indeed, if Senseonics can grab a large enough slice of the market, the company's near $1 billion valuation could make sense. Not only that, it could be cheap depending on how well Senseonics market and capitalization as products. So in conclusion, they say the stock is certainly not cheap and investors are taking a leap of faith of sorts, and the execution risk remains high with Sens stock, and the company will need to continue to show results from its commercialization efforts before we see the stock take off. That said, there's certainly a ton of room and optimism with this small cap play for those willing to for a few speculative dollars. And that's, to me, is the company in a nutshell, guys. I've seen other stocks like this, so I know the crack. Big catalyst. If the catalyst works, this is cheap. You're getting in and you're absolutely going to throb. Whether that happens, who knows? The crazy rises we've seen before, I've seen it with Zomedica, I've seen it with so many different ones. Anybody that's thinking it's at that price before it could go back to that price, get that out of your mind. Because I do think that things just got crazy there and we've really stepped back. But if they get this, it could fall, but I mean, we'll know more come than the earnings. I think that's key. Look at the earnings and we'll see what happens. There is this article as well. Senseonics stock will likely rise at the same trajectory as Dexcom. Sens stock could rise 5 to 10 times over the next 5 years once it receives the FDA approval. This is a good read here as well, guys. It really compares them two companies. And for anybody that doesn't know Dexcom, it's a much larger stock. It's in a similar kind of vein and has had one hell of a good rise over the last sort of decade. So, have a read at that article as well if you're thinking about trying to find a comparable. If you look in the description below, guys, you will find discount codes to buy cryptocurrency. 10% off on Binance, one of the best platforms to use for your cryptocurrency. Start your dream and you can get 10% off. So £1,000 in, 100 quid off. Not bad, guys. Click the link and you can get that. Also, if you're thinking about joining the stock portfolio or maybe having diversity, recommend everyone to have at least 3 or 4 different brokers just to have different targets, different diversity. Don't forget, you're only allowed so much of compensation if anything was to go wrong. Not saying that any of these platforms are dodgy, but you just want to spread that risk, take away that worry. So free trade is the one that I'm really recommending. Free commission transfers, all in your own hand, and also you can get, by signing up with the link below, you can get a free share up to £200, guys. So that's not bad at all. A few links down there as well for writer articles that I've featured in there. Good read, guys, as well. Of course, I'm always plugging them bad boys, you know that. And get me on Instagram, guys, BHSDMV, to stay up to date with all the banter. Okay, guys, so if we just pull out the year chart, you can see here the madness kind of started around Christmas time, and it is absolutely throbbed to the peak of sort of mid-February. Then it started to tater off, and then obviously we've seen the massive pullback just in general across the board, especially in speculative stocks. They have definitely pulled back the hardest. You see here the year to date, so we did have highs in and around $5 a share, but it's nowhere near that now. We look at the last sort of 3 months, we can see that it's just went on a downward spiral. We can see here it was up there and it's just went down. You can see here we've just went underneath the moving average, and then on this monthly basis it's just went down. And if we even look sort of the last month, it's went down, but it's went back up above the moving average, and then we went back below it. So this, to me, looks to be, if I was looking for an entry point, we can see here this channel. So we were to draw a few lines here. At a very high level, you could say there's a channel here. See here that we bounced to test the resistance. We went down, we went back up and tested it and went down, and then we finally got this big candlestick and we're able to push through and go right up. This is where the craziness happened, this pulled down. But when it tested it initially, it bounced back up again, but it's really tanked hard at this time, and it just hasn't been able to bounce above that again. So that's serious resistance there for sure. It just went downwards now, so it looks like again bit of a channel here, and then we tanked hard. So now it looks like we're in this channel. It'll be interesting to see what happens. It looks like we're going down. So if I was looking for an entry point, guys, I'd be waiting for the 1.75 in and around that region. We're not a million miles off that. We're sitting at 189, and we did have a 1% drop on Friday close play. So I'd be using that. Anything below this moving average, though, to be fair, is not a bad entry point if you are considering this stock. But with earnings coming up again, if I was looking to move into this, I would be waiting until after earnings just to see what way it goes. If they're going to report negative earnings, that could have a negative impact. But if it's not as bad as people are expecting, it could have a positive impact. And a stock like this, it won't take long for it to shift. And with the other catalyst that we talked about as well. So yes, that would be my, not recommendation, because I don't recommend anything, but that would be my thought process. I would be waiting to try and get it in and around this 177. So guys, in summary, this is a penny stock as we talked about. It's had big rises, it's fell quite badly, but if you're thinking that the catalysts that we've talked about are worthwhile, then there's a good time coming up here. You've got earnings. Whether or not you want to put half in, half out before that, how good do you anticipate the earnings to be? It's anyone's guess, and even if they are good, sometimes the stock doesn't react very well to it. So anyone that's watching this price will probably know that currently we're pretty much going by the chart analysis that we did there. You're not too far off a good entry point. So I don't know, you can only decide what way you want to play it, but there's definitely catalysts there. They're doing things that sound interesting. I'm going to watch it closely. I'm not going to invest straight away yet. I'm going to wait till after the earnings just to see what happens. The FDA approval, there's things there that ifs and buts. So we've had pullbacks. You just have to lose the charts. That would be my recommendation. Use the charts on any of these stocks to try and find your entry points. Set your stop losses. Safeguard yourself to the best of your abilities, and just keep an eye out for those catalysts, because if they don't happen, it will go to Cape Town.
I've got nothing left. I've got nothing left.
But if they do happen, the thing will... and you don't want to miss out on that. So I'd love to get your thoughts, guys. Are you going for this one? Is this a good stock? Am I missing out on something by not jumping in straight away? I will keep an eye on it. I like what they're doing. I like what's in theory. But like I said, I've got a hell of a lot of exposure to risky enough stocks. So I'm just going to take a step back. But if there is a significant pullback, say earnings do come out and they don't do too well, but all these other catalysts are still in the pipeline, I think I will definitely take a wee punt at it. But it'll be a small punt, guys. 100, maybe 150 pounds. It won't be anything major. There is a lot of risk there, and like I said, my appetite for risk at the moment with the cryptocurrency scene and all these other types of penny stocks and the mining stocks that we talk about in this channel, I feel that this is one just I'm okay unless the price becomes almost too attractive. I'm okay to maybe sit this one out, but I'm not saying not to go for it though. I'm just saying because of my risk exposure, I can't be really diversifying myself anymore to that. So that's my thoughts anyway, guys. Love to hear yours. As I said, please like, please subscribe, help me grow this channel. Get me on Instagram, BHSDMV. Also, don't forget, go under the community tab on my YouTube channel. You can vote for next week's video. It's live now, you can see here. New video coming tomorrow as well, so make sure to hit the alert button, stay up to date, and I'll catch you then. Peace.